This happened last. Okay. Yeah. So excited. And this is it. This is it. This is everything. This is everything. And there's nothing else. There's nothing outside of this. And even this isn't happening. It's like a magic show. You are the infinite, formless, that can't be seen, appearing as everything, which is everything. So everything is everything. So whatever's appearing is everything. Even a pile of dust in the corner is everything that could possibly be or not be. And there's nothing outside of these walls or this screen of faces. There's no world. There's no one. And there's no one here. There's no one seeing this video. Already, you can't get outside of what is to be separate or to be an individual. You are nothing that's appearing as everything. Feeling what it's like to be. And since you're singular, you don't exist because there would have to be two. So it's not real, but it can appear real. It can appear real by resisting what is. Resisting, which is like this pretend separation, because it can never be separate. It can appear real by resisting what is and pushing away what's appearing to happen, or rejecting it and saying this isn't it. But even no one's doing that. That's just spontaneously impersonally appearing. Infinite potential appearing as resisting what's appearing to happen. And that's, you could say, and this is just a story, this is just romanticizing all of it. It's a beautiful way for boundless energy, the divine, imagining this, which is formless and not real, not solid, to feel what it's like to be real through resistance and seeking, because seeking is implying that this isn't everything, which is also making it appear real. Or like a sense of fear comes up, which can appear to separate what's happening, but it can never separate because you can't get outside of everything to be separate. So that is everything already. So even the pushing away and the avoiding absence is absence already, is the beloved already, is the divine imagining this and feeling or sensing through the senses, because without the senses there's nothing, and even the senses are nothing, appearing as senses. So like a solid table, what is it without the sense of touch? The solid table is the sense of touch. It's just energy. It's sensual. It's like making love to everything through the senses, through everything that's arising, including pain, including suffering, including grief and sadness. It's almost like, and another romantic love story is like the divine that can't be known, can't be seen, appearing as everything to feel what it's like to be. And it's absolutely beautiful. So whatever's happening is freedom already, is everything already. There is no separate individual. There can't be. You can't get outside of everything to be something. You are this infinite, boundless energy that's formless, that can't be seen, that can't be known. You are the unknown that can't be known. appearing as everything that can't be known. It's still nothing. Everything is nothing appearing. So this is nothing appearing to happen. And it's not happening. It's like, even you could say appearing and disappearing before it can even, you can grasp it. Like even these words are just appearing and disappearing. Appearing from emptiness is emptiness. Disappearing as emptiness is emptiness already. And there's no one seeing it or perceiving it. Even if you look for it, you can't find, it's just empty. Even how thoughts just arise spontaneously from emptiness and disappear into emptiness, you can't find them again. And you can even see how it's emptiness that's listening to the thoughts. No one's listening to the thoughts. The thoughts are empty. Everything's empty, but full at the same time. It's the relative absolute, the absolute relative. It's the same. There is no separation. So the resisting what is, which is just innocently happening, just like a dream at night where it's just happening and no one's doing it, no one's controlling it, it's just happening. The resisting what is just pretending to cover up that it's everything, that it's this, that it's exactly what you're longing for, is whatever's happening. So even the feeling stuck is what you're longing for. Even the trying to get rid of a me that doesn't exist is what you're longing for, is freedom, is the balanced energy appearing as that. And it can appear to unravel gradually, but what's seen is that it never happened. The awakening is the recognition that there never was a me to awaken. There never was a past. My whole life didn't happen. It was just a story. And it's so literal. It's so literal. It's just this, and nothing happened before this. Nothing. Even starting this Zoom call didn't happen. You can't even prove that it happened. And this isn't happening. It's like a clean slate. It's done. It's done. It's, appearing, disappearing. It's gone. It's deleted. And it's just amazing because it's like so unknown, like a mystery. I mean, because you are the mystery. So you can never know it. It's just a recognition. And it can appear gradual, it can appear slow, or it can be fast. It's just different it appears different for each body, but it's a non-event because it's the recognition that this is timeless. So there's no time for an event to even happen in. And it's so obvious that the past never happened, and that the awakening never happened. And then there never was a me. There never was a story. I never had friends. I never had a family. This was all just an idea. It's all just like infinite information appearing as bodies, as tables, as chairs. And it's just one balance energy. And then it can just be seen or sensed, recognized energetically that it's one, it's whole, it's not separate. It never has been separate. Whatever is being seen is being. So like seeing this head pointing is, you could say you are being and not, because it's not really happening, but you're not separate from it. You are all the faces on the screen, and not is and isn't simultaneously. So nothing appearing is everything. And seeing the tree is being the tree. It's immediate, it's intimate. It's like beyond intimacy. It is being everything, which is nothing. So, and when it appears gradual, all sorts of stuff can become obvious, but like it can feel terrifying at times, because it's like a death, you know, like a death of a story that never happened. And it can feel like, for this, it felt like jumping out of an airplane without a parachute. And it was so funny because that it was terrifying, but it was exciting at the same time. And it was so obvious that there never was a me, and that this is timeless. There's no time. This is eternal. No one was born. No one dies. But it was so funny because it was a total comedy, because I was like, give me a problem to solve. Give me something to worry about. And it was so obvious that that's how it was holding on. That it was just like creating problems all day to solve, to try to stay real, to exist. Because without those problems to solve, you don't exist. And without resisting what's appearing to happen, you don't exist. And so it's just beautiful. It's stunning. And that's why it's such a love story to me, because it's like the beloved that can't be seen, that can't be known, appearing as this, you know, as imagining this to be felt, or to be, because you aren't, you know, no one exists. No one. This is singular. It can't be real. So yeah, and everything's enlightened already. That's the other thing that's so obvious. It's just, there is nothing to get liberated from. There is no me already. It's yawning. It's stepping in dog shit. It's talking to your friend about what you're eating for dinner. It's so ordinary already. It's everything that's appearing to happen is total freedom. Is total freedom. Even the idea. And that's what also became obvious here in the story, was it kept becoming more and more obvious. The me is it. The me is what I'm longing for. What I was resisting is what I'm longing for. The longing is it. The seeking is it. And then after that was seen, it was freaking game over, because then there's no more resistance. Then there's no resisting the me, or resisting the seeking, or resisting the contraction, or whatever was happening. And that just is happens spontaneous too, like a yawn, or like a, you know, the heart beating, or the stomach growling, or a dog barking. It's just so random, because everything is just total chaos already. It's wild. And it can appear ordered by, you know, resisting what's happening, which makes it appear real, which attaches to this, what's appearing to happen, which is eternal and not really happening, but attaching to it as this is a real event happening to me, can make it like a movie, like a film strip that makes sense. Like, this happened in the past. And so it's kind of like taking the single frames, which it's just this, nothing happened before this, there's no other frame, but then piecing it together with what you call the past frames. But even after the film strip falls out of the projector, so to speak, you still abstract. I mean, you still drive home from the grocery store, and you know, the mind still makes sense, you know, but it's obvious it's not real. It's obvious it's not happening. And it's empty but full, and it's unconditional love. It's overflowing love. No separation. Yeah. Yay! And it's a celebration. It's a celebration of everything, even suffering and sadness and pain and all of the stuff. So let's chat about that. And if you want to write in the chat or unmute or whatever, feel free. You are free. Everything's free.
Hi, Ginny.
Yay! Yay!
Enjoy. There was
Yes.
a lot of fear coming up, and I just kept. I don't know. I don't know. I just turned it into music and playing the same music over and over, and it was just. I don't know what happened, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
understand anything. But it's all
Yeah.
coming, all singing love and joy. It's all, it's absolutely stunning. It's stunning.
It is.
Nothing's ever happening, and there's nobody
Mm-hmm.
here.
Isn't that
There's
amazing?
nobody else here.
You were
It's
never
absolutely
traumatized. Yeah.
no,
You never had a evil
no,
ex. You never had you never had an abusive stepdad. Nothing
no.
happened.
Every
It's amazing.
moment, it's. I know.
And even the
Oh my
fear
god.
is it too. The fear is the
Yes. Thank
beloved
you.
freedom appearing as fear. And I actually see fear as the alarm system. I see fear as the intuition, the beloved appearing as the intuition screaming, this isn't happening. This isn't real. This
Yes.
isn't happening.
Thank you
And
for
that's
saying that
why it can
so many
feel
times. Thank you.
that contractive. Yeah, because it's like a GPS system.
Yeah. So instead of running in a corner and hiding in fear, I just was like, no. I just, I kept hearing something you said. When the me dies, so does everything else.
Mm-hmm. Which it
So
didn't
it
even
doesn't matter.
exist, so it doesn't even die.
Yes. It
That's the
doesn't even matter
comedy.
anymore.
Yeah. That's
It doesn't
hilarious.
matter.
It's so
It
great.
doesn't matter. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
it
I don't.
doesn't. It's just amazing.
I just feel like I'm 5 years old. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. But at the same time, it's like
It's
a
awesome.
teenage love. I can't explain it. It's so
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful. This love
And it
does
can be
not let me
subtle.
go.
It
Mhm.
can be subtle. It's not always intense. It's not always like wow. Like you can't have an orgasm all day. Like it's not
That's
going to
what
be like
it's
yeah,
like.
it's
The same thing. Oh my
yeah,
god.
it can be just normal walking down the street and listening to your friend talk about, a past that didn't happen or whatever. It's whatever's happening and it feels normal cooking dinner. And then it can feel intense in loveness, but that everything arising is appearing, disappearing, it's passing, it's fleeting, um, you can't grasp it, you can't hold on to it. Nothing. You can't hold on to
No,
anything. There is
no,
nothing.
no. It feels like you're in just, it's like water. Sand, you
Hmm.
can't hold it.
Yeah, I love that analogy of holding sand in your hands, and it
It just, it cannot be
comes through
held.
the fingers. Yeah,
Thank you. It had to
yeah,
express. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's
Thank
exciting.
you.
Yeah. Mhm. And even when the me is gone, or when it's obvious there never was a me, um, there can still be moments of contracted energy, which is just totally spontaneous and uncaused and random, and it's impersonal, and there's no one there to be like, oh shit, what's happening or why, or it's just random. And then even the fear can just random, you know, and that's when you can really see how it was pushed away. It was just being resisted before and told, you're not it, but then it is it. It's everything. It's like being beingness, which is like a soup of all qualities. What it's like to be, what it's like to appear as emotions, as feelings, as forms, as yeah. So there can even be a subtle in loveness, like getting annoyed. There can be like a subtle in love with it kind of thing because it's just free to be annoyed, like a child throwing a tantrum or something. It's not held on to.
So I have an inquiry.
Yeah.
So I've been revisiting that wonderful Castaneda work with the assembly point and awareness, and it's really I love it. It's a lot of fun. And talk about how when we shift our assemblage point, we open up these completely different dimensions of experience. So I'm curious, like, I know it's all the same unreality, right? But yet we, you know, and I've had amazing experiences shifting in dimensional awareness, which was its own fun unreality. But like, I still want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I still want to go exploring.
Oh yeah, like the astral projecting or something.
Like I get that it's all the same level. It's all just different shades of unreality, of non-reality. But like in me, like but I still want to take the adventure. I still want to go there. Yeah.
And that there's no choice. Yeah, there's no one doing it already. It's just for fun.
It's just for fun. And that's what I love about this. It's just for fun. It's like if I want to be a bitch today, I can play that character, that non-real, unreal, bitchy character, because it's not real today, because it's just for fun. It's like playing a character. It's like playing a character in a play or something.
Yeah, but even there's no actor. It's so funny because there's no one even in the body acting. Like it's just empty.
Yeah.
It's almost like a play appearing to happen with no one in the theater watching, like, and no actors. Yeah.
I love that. So I'm having fun with that. Yeah.
That is cool. Yeah. Yeah. In the story of Ginny, she was obsessed with quantum physics for a long time and studied so many different philosophies and even occult philosophies and stuff. And she was experimenting with quantum shifting, which was really cool. Like things would disappear and then reappear in the most random, unusual place, and that was really fun.
That reminds me of that book. Oh, it's very much like this. What was his name? Guy was named Robert. And it was like, if you want to like stop playing the game. What was that book? Oh my God. I'll have to dig it up and maybe bring it back to the next Zoom. But it's very much like it, where he was in these realms, just like what we're doing here. And he would have these experiences where he purchased the blue shirt, but when he got home, the shirt was green or pink or something. Like these weird quantum anomalies would start happening. He couldn't make them happen. It wasn't that he was trying to make anything happen. It's just that he was dropping in states like we're talking about, and he would have these things like just weird, like, you know, moving in and out of quantum flux. You know, you buy the blue shirt, and when you get home, it's red. That kind of weird stuff.
Yeah, it's just malleable and transient, and it's a magic show. Yeah. And even that's no one doing it already. It's just like the dream at night where there's no one doing it, no one controlling it. It's just appearing to happen and no one choosing it, no one. Yeah. And sometimes stuff like that can just appear even more magical. It's funny.
Ginny, could you elaborate on what you was talking about? You know, about you was getting into that. Getting into what I've never heard of what was that?
Yeah, there was geeking out on everything, basically, like trying to solve the infinite riddle that can't be solved. So I was like going down every rabbit hole, basically, and metaphysical stuff was very interesting to me, and magic and quantum physics, just trying to prove that this is, not real and just magical. And there was a studying like the hermetic occult magic kind of stuff, the ancient Egyptian and Greek philosophies, and there. But now, I mean, when the me apparently died, everything died. So it was like seeing that there is no free will. There is no one manifesting anything. No one's ever manifested anything. That it's just like the dream at night where it's just appearing. Or like, I love how Alexis used the metaphor of the video game in the arcade that's playing itself as a preview, and there's no one playing it. And that's what's happening. It's just randomly happening. So it wasn't, so I thought at the time that I was choosing to do it, and I was a manifester, and I was magic, and I could create all these things. But that was just no one doing it, no one bringing evidence to no one that stuff was happening or appearing or magical. And it was kind of like just resonating on that frequency like a radio station, and just bringing evidence or pretend proof to myself that it was really happening, which is beautiful too. I mean, it's just fun. It's just play. But then like miraculous healings, I did the healing stuff for a while, and then there was just seeing miracles all the time. And then let's see, the quantum shifting was fun. It was
that's what I meant.
Okay. I'll give you an example. I was moving out of a house and stored a chest at my so-called friend's house, and this guy ended up not being a friend. But anyway, I stored a chest with all of my albums, every picture that I ever owned of this body, from childhood up till whatever age it was. And then I stored it at his house as I was moving and getting settled or something. And this guy like went psycho or something. And he said, I threw away all your shit. And then and it was obvious, like a magic trick, when you see the thing in there and you think it's in there. Like even my family members knew that the albums were in that chest. And so they got thrown out. I went to the house and the guy had already moved out. There was no chest or albums in the trash. I looked through the trash. And at the time I was studying the quantum shifting. Cynthia Sue Larson, I think, was the physicist that was geeking out on it at the time that I was reading her books. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it'll just magically appear somewhere else, just maybe, it's transient. It's energy pretending to shapeshift. And so then I forgot about it. And then literally years later, I went to my mom's house. I was living in Colorado at the time, and I hadn't come back south in years. Finally visited my mom. And years later, the albums were in Colorado, thrown away. And I was at my mom's, and she was like, you know what? I found your albums in the drawer in my closet. I didn't know I had them. And I was like, wow.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
It's just magic trick. I mean, everything's magic. All of this is magic. I mean, it's not real. Yeah. It's not really happening. And then even like when you're driving down the street, the road is unfolding. It wasn't there before. Yeah. It's just, all of this is just appearing.
It's nice to hear these testimonies, just because it kind of loosens up the mind. And it's like, and then the understanding that, that it's just this, and that anything can appear. It just makes it so much, loosens the mind. It's really good.
It is loose. It's total chaos. It's like, it's so amazing that even I mean, it's just infinite potential appearing as information, appearing to make sense. Because like even this language that's being spoken wasn't learned because there was never a past when you went to school. It's just appearing, and it's automatically appearing defined, like understanding words and sentences, and you know, it's just infinite potential appearing as immediately new. So even these words are singular,
Mm.
and there's nothing before or after it, but then there's the abstracting of making it a sentence that makes sense, and it's just automatically happening. Nothing appearing as sentence that makes sense. In stories, talking in stories, because that's all we have to talk about is the stories, which is the absolute appearing as story, the wordless appearing as word, which is so cool. And that's the childlike wonder. It's like, oh my God, how this is amazing. It's amazing.
Do you have moments where you pop out of this awareness and you feel like old human self again? Or do you do anything to keep yourself in this state? Or is it just come and go? Or is it just always there?
It's always there, and but it's not a state. It's it's not awareness. I know that sounds weird. It's just this, and it's eternal, and it's being, and it's just intimate. It's intimately being everything, which is nothing. And it's there's no subject object, so there's no separation, and there's it's not a state, and it's not one continuous sensation. It's everything. So it's whatever's appearing to happen, which is like you know, excitement, sadness, happiness, you know, going for a walk, a chair, a table, a cup of tea. So it's like the single frame in the projector that's everything. So it's like this. So it's like looking at the screen. This is everything. There's nothing before this. There's nothing after. It's singular. It's immediate. It's being this, which is and isn't, because it's not real. It's not really happening. It's formless energy appearing as screen with faces, but not separate from it, because almost like I love the analogy of the divine imagining this, or the divine dreaming this. You know, it's energy. It's not separate from it, but it's also not, it's not solid. It's not tangible. It's not real. So but yeah, there's a once it's so obvious that there's no me, there never was a me. And once it's seen that it's literally everything, including the me, including the contraction, including the suffering, including the longing and the seeking, then there's no more resistance. So when the resistance is gone, everything's allowed to play, everything's allowed to be. And so everything's allowed to be free. And so there is no trying to hold on to anything, or trying to be in one mood or one sensation, because it's everything and includes all sensations. And that's where it can appear to hide, is when you're trying to cling on to a sensation, or you're trying, oh wait, sorry, it might have taken the screen off. I'm trying to read this. Okay, so yes, after sudden awakening from years of clinical depression with experience of peace, love, oneness, receiving message of story for no one is such a relief to just be. Yay! After 5 years of experiencing rabbit holes. Yeah, free, totally free. Even the depression is what you're longing for, is everything, whole and complete. Everything's allowed to be. It's kind of like, I like to use the analogy of the kid on the playground that's being left out at recess. It's like all the kids are allowed to play. Sadness, pain, all of it. And then it's permanent recess, because then there's that in loveness with everything that's arising to happening, even the sadness, there's a subtle in loveness, and it's also empty, so it's not really happening to anyone, you know. There is no one already. So free, there's nothing to do to be free. That even the resisting what is free. And it can appear gradual. It can appear so gradual that it's not even noticeable that there is no me. And then there can all of a sudden be this noticing by no one of, wow, I'm not seeking anymore. Or or it's something, you know, something can come up to recognize it, that there is no me, there never has been a me. Or it can be a more sudden obviousness or more dramatic. It appears, it's the same boundless energy, but can appear different, you know, just like each body appears unique, but it's the same boundless energy, you know.
Yeah, so lovely. It's like now I feel like I'm just turning up to commune rather than to seek.
Yay, it's a party.
Communing.
Yeah, it's a celebration.
Yeah, celebrating. Yeah, that's so beautiful. I love your words. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
It's kind of like there's a contraction which is like seeking to get rid of this thing, and then it just starts, and then it, you know, it just might relax, and then it just does, you know, it was always just this.
Yeah.
And then my teacher uses that analogy.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And it's so beautiful because the contraction to this romantic, you know, expression of it is like the contraction is the alarm system that's saying this isn't really happening and there's no separation. It's just kind of, that's why it feels like, because it's like the notification or the GPS system saying that, but not it can't, I mean, it's not always going to be heard or, you know, recognized, because also you're the infinite that doesn't need anything. You don't even need to appear as everything or wake up, you know, from the dream, or you're not in the body, you're not, and there is no one to wake up already. But that contraction is not even always there. Like you said, it appears and disappears. And there might be a noticing that it kind of can come up when there is a resisting what is or what's happening, or an idea of separation arising. That contraction can alarm the system, like, and it's beautiful. It's almost, I see it as like a tool or something. It's not like an intuitive tool or something, but that's also an idea. It's just, there's all everyone has their own story of this pointing to that which can't be pointed to. So it's just all unknowing and ungraspable, you know, it's just totally unknown, but it can be sensed, you know. And just like even when there's obviously no me, that contraction can arise every now and then, just spontaneously, and but it's not identified with or resisted or anything. And it's all just innocent and spontaneous and unconscious, because you are the unknown that can't be known, arising as this singular sensation, which is everything. So the contraction is everything. It's amazing. And it's so beautiful, even the idea of the story of the hide and seek game, because how else would you have hid, without seeking, because seeking is implying that this isn't it, or, because it's hiding by being everything, hiding in plain sight. So that pretend game of hide and seek is basically the avoidance of your own absence, which you are already absent already. So that part's fun. It's like,
it's kind of like hiding as the contraction, like it's just like
yeah.
that, and then it can come out like when but it's that same one. It's just the seeking is the contraction, and then when it can just think, okay, it's everything is it, then it can relax, and then but it's
yeah. And by okay, so like also everything is singular, so like there's no opposites. So like say there's hot is everything, nothing else. So there's no cold, but then there can be an abstraction or an assumption that there's cold too, which is the idea of there's something else out there, something to seek, something to find. And so then that's what the polarity, where it's pretending to be absolute and relative separate, when actually the absolute is the relative, the absolute that can't be seen and doesn't exist because it's singular, appearing as looking in the mirror of contrast, of form, of almost like seeing itself in the reflection of opposite in a way. So that's but it's the same. So when it's obvious there's no me, it's almost like, and this is just this way of telling the story, this it's almost like the mirror turns on itself and looks at itself or something, where it's like the relative sees itself as the absolute and the absolute sees itself as the relative, and it's like, oh my god, game over, and then it's like collapses all duality, all opposites. There's no opposite. Everything is one boundless energy, one singular, all alone, everything. So there are no opposites to compare to. There is no before or after or time for anything to exist in, and there's no dimension, there's no substance. And just, which that's the part that can be like a loss of everything, because everything you thought was real is destroyed. Which is also like the tantric union of everything collapsing as one infinite nothing, but it's all in love. It's all unconditional love. So it's full at the same time. It's not just empty, it's full. And it's yeah. Yeah.
Ginny, can I say something?
Yeah.
It's just noticed right now, the loop that's playing. Just going to speak this out loud. That when that intensity, that joy, that there, it's noticed that right at those moments, everything is coming up to the surface at the same time.
Yeah.
And then I'm noticing that if there's no reaction to it, if everything is laughed at, when all the stories are like playing, dogs barking and all kinds of stories are replaying themselves, the more I'm seeing that there's just being laughed at it and not being taken seriously, the more they seem to just be dissolving. Does that sound right?
Yeah,
Because
when
no
it's all
resistance
when it's recognized that it's everything and it's everything you've ever longed for, and you are the beloved appearing as that, as everything. You are the infinite, divine, ultimate appearing as whatever's appearing in heaven. Then there's no more resistance to it. And then it can appear, and this is just a story too, if it appears gradual, like a gradual unraveling or gradual falling away, when it's obvious that there's no me and that it's everything, there can still appear to be a habit, like kind of like the fan being unplugged and the fan and it's still turning.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
There can stuff can come up, like stuff that was repressed too, like old fears or thoughts that you had been resisting can come up to come home almost. It's like it's the story in the story, it appears to be like a homecoming, and it's just coming up to be loved. And then it's like, you're it too, you're it too, you're it too, come on, come on. And then it's like, yeah. And
oh
then
my gosh, I'm hearing you now.
And then more and more it's seen that, no time, like no past, even that didn't happen, even that's a story, but it's very beautiful.
Very fast. I'm hearing you now, and I'm hearing, oh my gosh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
I'm hearing what everyone was been trying to say to this one for so long.
Yeah.
You're resisting what you don't like. When you accept that the same way without judgment, as much as you would accept a rainbow, I hear you. Oh my gosh.
And it's not even you to do that. So there's not even a free will choice whether to do that or not, because even trying to do that is resisting it. So it just naturally unfolds, naturally rises. Yeah. Yay.
Yay. Thank you.
Yay. Yay, keep laughing at the cosmic joke, Tara. Yay. That was in the chat. It is beautiful and playful. Even the suffering, or if there's pain in the body, it can be like, oh wow, what's that? What's that? Like, it's not my pain. It's not happening to me. It's just pain. It's full on. It's alive. It's immediate. And there's not even a body. So it's like, if you close your eyes, you can't even tell where it's at. It's just in emptiness. It's just appearing and disappearing and transient. Yay. And when there's resonance with this message or these words, it's already done. It's already happening. Nothing you can do about it. Already dead, which is total aliveness. Total aliveness. nothing to become, or no practice. It already is everything, already is whatever is being felt right now. Is everything. And it's, when it appears gradual, it can appear that there's no more problem to solve, and the meaning falls away, and there's no cause and effect. So then there's really nothing to figure out anymore, which really is permanent recess. It's like, and then there can be, at first, sometimes, not always, but there can be kind of a void, or like a nakedness with that, because it's like, that's when you can see how busy you were trying to pretend like you exist with these problems to solve and worrying about stuff. And like, when that's gone, it's like, holy shit. I mean, there's so much energy for play. I mean, there's not, and nothing's important. Nothing needs to happen. There's no responsibility. There's no doer already. There never was. And there, but that's funny how there can be that habit of problem solving. And when that dies, it's just like, wow. And everything's so spontaneous too. It's like, even when when it's obvious there is no me, and there's no one in anybody, no center in anybody, because once you die, everyone dies. Everything's free, just infinite energy, one balanced energy appearing as bodies that are empty. But there can spontaneously be a fight, whether your partner or fight, just random shit happens. It's just life, and no one's doing it. Non-duality doesn't mean that you're nice to everyone, or you want to be around everyone, or it's almost like the character is buck wild to uninhibited. There's no filter anymore, so it just, even the people pleasing can fall away, or whatever, and there's still just like a kid throwing a tantrum, or there's no why, no should or shouldn't, or right or wrong. So there's no one working it out anymore. Free to have a fight, free to be angry. And passionate, it can be even more full on or more intense. And it's literal too, like this square of the head and the body. I mean, just this part of the body. There is no rest of the body. Oh, okay, message came up. Let's see. Yay. Thank you, Samantha. This has been amazing, and look forward to more exploration. But I have to go. Yay, love you.
Oh, what was you saying about just the face appearing?
Oh yeah, it's so literal. It's just this.
Right.
That's everything. There is no rest of the body. It's so literal, and that's everything. It's whatever is appearing is everything. It's very literal. It's very literal. And nothing more, nothing outside of it, nothing beyond it, nothing before, nothing after. Yeah.
Yeah, we're always like, the mind is always like imagining you know,
and assuming, and yeah.
even imagining that like the body, it's like an imagination because we can't see the body really.
Yeah.
But there's I think there's always a subtle imagination.
Yeah.
It's just happening, like, the rune's happening, but the imagination's happening as well. Like
Yeah, it's
I can
abstracting.
see it. Yeah, like
Yeah,
those thoughts.
because like there's nothing beyond those walls. There's no world out there. But the imagination can imagine, oh, there's a world out there. I'm assuming that it's still there. I'm assuming that it's continuous because I walked in the door and there was a road and cars driving by, but there isn't. There's nothing beyond those walls, nothing beyond this video.
And the
And it,
imagination of being the body. Because,
mhm.
we're feeling, but like there's feeling of the body, but I think there's like an imagination of it, you being the body, like subtle image, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because like when it appears real, it's just the resisting what is, which is that like pretend veil that's like me and my body. I am in the body, or there's an entity in this body, but there is no entity and there is no body. And but that's just boundless energy appearing as an idea immediately. I am the body, or I am the mind. And all the mind is just spontaneous thoughts arising from emptiness, disappearing as emptiness is emptiness. But then when there's attachment to the thoughts, that turns into a belief, and then that turns into what people call the mind. This is my mind, which is just random, impersonal thoughts coming from nowhere, is nothing, you know, and and you can't even locate the body. You can't even I mean, there's no dimension, time, space, or anything for even a body to exist in. But even when it feels real, you can't even prove that it has a position or is where you are located. It's just and then if you close your eyes, you can't feel the boundary of the body. Like you can't tell where it ends or begins. It's just emptiness already. But I love talking about the senses because like the Gnostic Gospels talk about the senses are heaven. And I see it as like the interface for nothing to experience something, because what is the body without the sense of touch, and without the sense of sight, and without taste, and without hearing, and all of the senses, even thought and emotion? Take all those away, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing. So the senses are everything in a way, our beingness. And it's very sensual, and it's very immediate, and the body even appears and disappears all day, but then the abstraction of identifying with it assumes that it's continuous. But it's it appears, and all you see is like legs. You don't see the back of the body, you just see the torso and legs. You can't even see the head. And then there's washing dishes, and then there's walking the dog, and then there's a duck. There's no body, it's disappearing. And then it's assumed that it's still there, but then it's I love Rose. I love how she talks about it because it's very literal. I mean, I adore the way she talks about it. But yeah, it disappears. And even Rose, in the story of Rose, her body disappeared totally for a while. And it actually freaked her out at first, where she was like, oh my God, how do I make it appear again or something? It's just, yeah, it's amazing. It's, yeah, there is no body. This is just infinite information just appearing as everything. infinite potential appearing as everything, and it's empty. It's no thing. It's energy. Yeah. Okay, in the chat, experienced that briefly, which was very concerning for me for a while. Yeah, that could be freaky. That's so cool, though. Yay. It's amazing. Yeah. It's exciting. It's exciting and can be terrifying. It's like, but you're already absent. You're already, you already don't exist. So there's nothing to lose or die from, or, it's already formless. Even all this is formless. There can be the sense of touch, which is the sensation of solid, but that's just that's just nothing appearing as the sense of touch. It's really amazing. It's just, and it's free. So free, you don't exist. So free. You can't die because you were never born. It's amazing. Yeah. And it can feel devastating sometimes. It's not always just like, wow, it's like even the recognition of there never was a me. I never had kids. I never had a life. I never had parents. All of that crumbling can be kind of devastating sometimes. And that's just the appearance of the death part of it. It's just, but that's also freedom, because then there's nothing to lose. Yeah. Roller coaster from fear to bliss, moment to moment sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, it is like, it can be like being on a roller coaster and like, or a roller coaster without tracks, or that fell off the track. Wow. Yeah. Oh, yay. Does anyone have one last comment or anything to say? Okay. Yay. Love you guys. Mwah. That was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So beautiful to see everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay. And I'll see you soon. We'll we'll probably do it on a Tuesday, because I feel like the other speakers aren't doing it as much on around this time. So perfect. Yay, love you. Talk to you soon.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ginny.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.